Good morning and a happy Sabbath, church members. Our mission story today comes to us from Poland. The story goes on to talk about a woman named Helena. Now, after the birth of a third child, Helena decided not to have any more children. But at the age of 42, when she was greeted with the news of the birth of her first granddaughter, she also got another unexpected news. She herself was pregnant. Concerned about the pregnancy and other issues which could be caused by it, Alina went to her physician for a regular checkup, and the physician left her at a crossroads. He told her that ideally she should abort the child because at her age, a pregnancy would result in complications for both the mother and the unborn child. Alina was left conflicted. Should she have the abortion or should she go through with the pregnancy? The physician recommended the abortion and he gave her the number of another doctor who would perform the procedure for her. Helena gave it much thought and finally decided to have the abortion. She called up the doctor her physician had recommended, but wasn't able to book an appointment. She called the number a few more times, and when she was not able to connect, she gave up and went back to her job. In this time, her husband found out about the pregnancy from one of their daughters. Her husband, Vladislav, was a Seventh day Adventist man and a firm believer in life and in God. He pleaded with Helena not to have the abortion. He said, "Please do not go through with this." But Helena was adamant. She asked Vladislav, "If I go through with this pregnancy, will you leave me?" Vladislav said, "No. In whatever decision you make, whatever your choices, I will be with you." Helena gave it more thought and finally decided to have the child. After a few months, Helena and Vladislav were blessed with a healthy young boy whom they named Adam. This whole incident made Helena think about God and about how whatever God's plan is, God will have it fulfilled. God will ensure that it goes through, in spite of whatever opinions, however strong opinions we may have, or whatever they might be. Being born in communist era Poland, Helena had never given much thought to the concept of God, or religion for that matter, but seeing how God's will had been fulfilled in her life with the birth of her youngest child, Helena decided to do something for God. In secret, she started studying the Bible with another Adventist pastor. When Helena and Vladislav attended revival meetings few months later, she surprised her husband by raising her hand to be baptized. This was a turning point in her life. Helena decided to continue her further education at the Adventist College in Poland. And during this time, she came in contact with a pastor suffering from Down syndrome. Seeing about his life, seeing him work, operate, and hearing his life story touched Helena deeply. She decided to write her thesis on children suffering with mental disabilities. When she was researching on this, that's when she came in contact with a physical therapist who introduced her to David. David was a young orphan boy suffering from Down syndrome. In the previous years, lots of times, parents would come, visit the orphanage, meet David, but as soon as they learned that he was suffering from Down syndrome, they would change their mind about adopting him. David, David was in the orphanage for a long time, and Helena felt a connection to him. Due to this, Helena and Vladislav enrolled in a government program which allowed them to take one child from the orphanage home during the weekend. They started taking David to their home over the weekends, initially from Friday nights to Sunday evenings. But one time, David just wouldn't let go. As much as when they tried to leave him back at the orphanage, he cried and cried. And this deeply affected Helena and her daily life. So they decided that they would adopt David. At the age of 52, when most adoption agencies don't usually give children to parents, a judge ruled that Helena and Vladislav could adopt David and take him home. When they took David home, they started working on his treatment immediately. After the first surgery on his legs, the doctor recommended that they do not try anymore because any more surgeries and David would not be able to walk again. But Helena and Vladislav didn't give up. Didn't give up. unexpected sons, and how the involvement of these two children in their lives changed their whole life for Helena and Vladislav. They now take active part in church activities, distributing books. Over the last couple of years, they've distributed over 200 book copies of The Desire of Ages and the Great Controversies to their family and to their friends and to other neighbors. The 13th Sabbath offering this quarter will help build up a center for Adventist World Radio in Poland. Thank you.